I'm on the floor because at the moment I've only got one table out, and I'm just looking at the next step in this quilt that I'm sort of copying, and I realised that they do the parallel lines, the parallel pieces here. They're at right angles to the side of the quilt, and I actually need twice what I've done there to catch sewing together my strips. And also they've got a border first. Obviously that's what makes the frame. So somewhere packed away in one of my bags I've got another of my filling in fabrics like this. I need to find it. But it is actually really nice having some space to think and create. And it is the most beautiful day today. Just a beautiful, beautiful day. So I've added the first piece of sashing that's going to be the next frame border of the quilt. Used up some of my many white scraps. I very nearly got in the car and drove down to my local fabric shop. I think I might have told you about it before. It's a lovely shop, and I know they've got some really, really nice border organised in there, and every time I go in there I walk past it. It's by the door. So I very nearly went down there and bought some of that, but I'll show you in a minute at the spare bedroom where I've chucked all of the fabric while I've been renovating this room, and it's all in those vacuum bags, and they're now starting to re-inflate themselves. I'll show you. So this is the spare room. We've got family coming in a couple of weeks for Easter, and this is where they're going to be sleeping. Vacuum bags that I've put all the fabric in while I sorted out the room. They're all re-inflating themselves, and I've been rummaging through them for bits of white fabric, but I did manage to find some. So really, rather than quilting today, I should be doing this, but I'm not. So I've doubled it. I've got a layer of ordinary white sheeting on the back, and then I've got the linen look cotton on the front, because if I have white in a quilt, I quite like it to have a texture. Don't like it to look like just a bit of sheeting, although I have done that before. And on its own you can see through it, so I'm going to be doing that, using up some scraps all the way around. So I've put the next layer of sashing on, which can be my next frame, and I'm going to actually use my floorboards to trim it by a straight line. So I've done this before and it works quite well. And then I'm going to add the patchwork strips as the next layer. I've used my whole roll of, I made a long roll of scraps about 1.5 inches wide, and I've used it all up now, making this patchwork piece. And I'm trying to loosely follow this pattern. And if you look at the first square, and then you look at the strips radiating out from that, I think I've got enough to do that, but not in the way that this one has done, so that it's all cut from one piece. But I do realise that with my piece here, there is going to be quite a lot of wastage. Obviously it wouldn't be wasted, but because I've not got an awful lot more of these colours, and I want this layer of the frame to be coherent, I am thinking I'll cut this now and add it to the quilt, and maybe stick together the bits that are going to be cut out, because obviously you're going to make your triangle there, and then these bits are going to be cut out. I'm realising that this orange bit here is dominating more than I would like. Don't know how that's going to look. Oh no, I think I'm going to take that out. It's too dominant. So I've managed to extend the pieces that I've cut off to make the other two corners, and I see that I'm going to be able to put another frame in here, and I'm going to be getting very slightly closer to what this lady has achieved here. And I feel that I would never ever have made a quilt like this if I hadn't seen this book, and it's quite poignant really, because we've connected over a sort of geographical distance. I'm making this quilt, you're watching it, over maybe thousands of miles. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could connect over time as well, and I could snap my fingers and the lady who made this quilt could come here now and tell me what she thought. She might go, well, you've got that a bit wonky here and that's not quite a right angle. But having attempted to copy what she's done, I realise that she has put a lot of thought into how she's going to make this interesting. I've got some really bright fabrics here, but she's got quite muted tones, and I'm sure that the fabrics that she would have used would have been probably natural dyes. So that's why you've got this kind of sepia natural look. But she's ended up being able to produce a striking quilt with those tones, and it's because of her design. And I do wonder whether that kind of person who was able to plan ahead and think strategically and realise what was going to be effective and striking in a quilt would be the programmers and the project managers of today. She probably, if it's a she, and I'm assuming it was, she would have probably had children, homes to look after. You know, if it was traditional England, she would have had a life that was predetermined for her. And yet she produced something like this. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching so far, and check back for the next video where I will be putting the next frame on and extending this quilt.